For those people that are lucky enough to have tubes that have the two-part stem and core here, as shown by the little flats on the threads that hold the cap, it's an easier matter of dealing with this type of stem than the one part that I show in the other part of my video. To do this, to add the sealant to this style of tube is really quite easy. You just use this little tool, or to be honest, I'm quite sure that you could use simply a pliers and undo that core. This tool is convenient though. It slips right over the flats and allows you to spin the core out quite easily. So core's out with just a few turns. This is what it looks like right here. And I'll just set it aside. Set the tube over here just a little bit. I've got about an ounce of the sealant in this little container here, and it's simply a matter of putting the opening of the container onto the stem and squeezing the material down in there. That's it. The material's in there. I'll just shake it around a little bit. I'm not sure why I did that. And then replace the core. So slide that core back down in there. Trying not to put my hand right in the way of the camera, but only being partially successful. And spin her back down in. Use this tool to actually seat it down in there well. And that's it. Job is done. Sealant's in there, and it'll roll around the tube as this tire is used on the road. The sealant itself remains in a liquid state for 3 to 6 months, depending on conditions, according to the manufacturer. Okay, in this part of the video, I'm going to try to show how to take care of that dubbed off thread up here at the top of the stem. So you get this little knurled nut off and then drop the core down into this stem so that we can get the stands in there. First thing is just take a little file and file off that portion of the thread up here that's been pounded down to prevent this nut from coming all the way off. If that thread weren't pounded down, that nut would come right off and we'd all be losing it. So anyways, should take only a few strokes of the file, because this is brass that we're dealing with here, pretty soft stuff. Take just a few strokes of the file to take that dubbed off thread off, and you can see a little piece curling right there. I think we can probably get this nut off here at this point in time. Let's see. Sure enough, it spins off. Trick there is that as that comes off, the core that's inside the stem will be free to fall down into the stem. So I'm going to put my thumb down here on the bottom of the stem to prevent that core from falling on down into the tube and then being lost. So it's down there all right. And then just kind of loosen up a little bit and see if I can feel that core come down into the tube there. In which case I'm going to try to get hold of it. Aha! I can feel it. It fell all the way into the tube. So I'm going to try to push it back up in there, which I think maybe we did. Drop it, see what happens. Ah, got lucky. There it is. Okay, let's try it again. Put my thumb on the bottom. So it fell down in there, sure enough. Then squeeze the tube in such a way as to relax it a little bit. And then, with a little bit of luck, I can feel that core, and I can sure enough feel it right now between my thumb and forefinger. So at this point, I'm going to slip the bulldog clamp on there to hold that core in place while we go ahead and put the stands in the tube. So let's see how that works. Okay, I think I have it. Very good. I'm going to break off now and try putting the stands in. I'll be back in a moment. I put some of the stands from the large container into this smaller container, which holds about 2 ounces of the stands. And then all you have to do to get it into your tube is just take the opening of the container and give it a squeeze. The stuff does run down into the tube. It can tend to burp back on you a little bit, but I think that's diminished if you tilt the tube a little bit and tap it so it gets down the tube. Basically, that's it as far as getting the sealant in. Then it's just a matter of getting that core back up in there. So what I'm trying to do here is just hold the tube in a inverted stem in the inverted position like that, and hope that that core will find its way back up to the top, which it did by some good luck. And then I'm just going to put the nut back on here and we'll be good to go, as long as I don't drop the nut again. Here we go. Hope you can see what I'm doing. I'm having to do this pretty much on my own, so I don't have my usual help with somebody standing by holding the camera while I wiggle around and try to do the job. There we go. Okay, all done, good to go, sealed up. Probably not a bad idea to try to dub those ends of the threads over again before I return this tube to service, because if we're out in the field someday and need make a repair, I can see losing that little nut quite easily. So to do so, this is brass, it just takes some light taps on the end to mushroom that end. Imagine that's about all it'll take right there. See what happens. Yeah, it's caught. So I think you're back to a pretty much factory original tube. You can see the ends are mushroomed over just a little bit, and now you got the sealant in there, so should be good to go.